Ah, darn. I wish the cat meow had made it into
Oh,
the recording.
she'll do it again, Jeff. Don't worry. You know how she is.
All right. Hello and welcome to Deep Cuts the Game, the movie trivia podcast where I give my three contestants three different movies and they try to come up with the most random, obscure, or minor actors from those films. The deeper the cut, the more points they get. I'm your host, Jeff Penn, and with me as always, the Garth to my Wayne, my co-host, Alex Young. Welcome to the show, Alex.
Thanks, Jeff. I thought you were going to say the Garth to my Brooks for some reason.
I know, I'm running out of things to say, so I'm just taking like famous duos and making you the lesser.
That's fine. That's reasonable. You did a good job with the intro, but it was like I make fun of you for the radio voice, but it was like too deadpan this time. It's like you were very nervous. You're focused on it. Do better. Anyway, how are you?
Thanks. You know what I love is when
live feedback.
Live feedback. Yeah. Actually, I do prefer this as to like the text the next day, where it's like, hey, you should do this. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why don't you do this? I'm busy.
You'll get both. You can have both.
What's going on?
Not much. I saw a movie in 40X over the weekend, which I'm a fan of.
And 40X for
those who don't know, 40X it's like D-Box on acid. It's like the equivalent of if you ever did like the movie rides like Shrek or whatever Universal. It's the same sort of thing. So like the seats fully pivot and shake. There's wind and rain in the theater, squirts water in your face. There's like little punchers in the seats. There's allegedly scent, but I've never seen that. Flashing lights, little neck ticklers and air things. It's really quite insane for just a regular movie theater, and like good luck with a drink.
So what movie is out now that you saw in 40X?
So I will get to that in 1 second because it's the weirdest choice. Because I'm a fan of 40X for the right movie, and it needs to be like a B+.
Was it the Nicole Kidman sexy movie?
It was Baby Girl in 40X, and everyone just got soaked. It was great. Honestly, that would be the funniest. It's like that and a Nora double feature. A Nora actually might even be a good fit. But no, because like Twisters, it's like it was made for 40X. That was awesome. Or like any Fast movie or Hobbs and Shaw. Those are all great. Those are all the right level of like cinema for that sitting. I saw one of the Avengers, like Infinity War, and honestly, the movie was too good. Like when Vision gets stabbed, I don't need a thing in my back. That really took me out of the movie. I was kind of annoyed about it. But I saw Wolfman, which I won't talk about the movie because I don't want to say anything negative. But boy, that was not a good fit for 40X. Because, like, there's a car crash and there's some action scenes and whatever. But then there's 20-minute segments of just, like, dialogue and being stressed about being infected. And we got to, like, brace the doors and all this kind of stuff. And the seats are just still. And there's, like, no wind. And then they'll, like, cut to outside and they pump in, like, pine scent. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. This is not an immersive experience. Anyway, it's the first time I've ever fallen asleep in 40X.
Jeez.
So
you spent a lot of money to go take a nap at the movies that
night.
It
was free popcorn day, so I did get free popcorn, which was nice. And I had a bunch of vouchers to use that I combined with scene points, so it ultimately cost me nothing. But it was still like a hefty nap out there at Young and Dundas in Toronto.
Well, Alex, we have guests from all over the world tonight. Well, not all over the world. They're actually probably closer to each other than we are. Because we got a guy from Philadelphia and we got a guy from just outside of New York, if I'm not mistaken. So let's bring him in. First up is a talented writer and poet with a new book of poetry, Bird Songs. He's also your go-to for proofreading and editing of your stories to help get you over the hump. He could have helped with this introduction. With articles covering the world of film and television, as well as being a former co-host of a podcast that did a deep dive on the TV show The Shield. We are thrilled to welcome CM Crockford to the show, or we're going to call him Connor for tonight, because CM, that's like his writer name. So we're going to go with the very informal Connor. Connor, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Jeff, thanks so much. Alex, thanks so much for having me. Happy to be here.
So you're in Philadelphia. Is that where The Shield took place? Is that, I'm just wondering why The Shield?
The Shield is in LA. It's very much it was like a guerrilla. Like it was guerrilla shot on the streets of LA. Like Vic Mackey, the character, is often like actually on the freeway doing stuff. They had the sneak in shots. Anyway, but no, the Philadelphia cop show. I'm trying to think of one right now off the top of my head, and I can't. But No, I got into the Shield through a online collective of other action movie nerds and people who are really interested in storytelling, all online, and kind of got into it through them, and then ended up getting obsessed with the show and hosted a podcast on it, and went from there. Brought a lot of those people on there.
The Shield came after the Commish, if I'm not mistaken. Like I think he did. It was
Yeah.
like Michael Chiklis did the Commish, and then it was the Shield. So he went from like this, like kind of like nice guy cop to more of a hard ass. Like and somewhere in between, he was the Thing as well. So I'm wondering.
There's a moment in Michael Chiklis's career where like he was Curly in the Three Stooges movie.
That's right.
And the TV movie, and he literally looked at his wife and was like, I need to do something else. Like, I don't want to be the funny guy anymore. This is awful. What am I doing? And he got really buff and lost weight and shaved his head. He had a comb over kind of still, you know, and he was like, fuck it, I'm 40 years old. So that was kind of his deal. And then he came in like, I'm not Shield anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, it's amazing. He's incredible too. He really owns it. And it's one of those things where it's like he's a stocky guy and it doesn't matter. He always feels like the most intense dude in the room.
So you've got a book of poetry, Bird Songs.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
What can you tell us about Bird Songs?
So Bird Songs is the result of a bunch of pandemic poetry, poetry I wrote after a breakup. And it's a mix of different poems, kind of trying to wrap up the past a little bit. I think like a lot of debut books, I'm kind of sorting through my life, and there are poems in there about punk rock and autism and climate change and the year 2023. I actually just called it a poem 2023. Wrote about punk houses in Oakland, where I went to school close by. So it's a mix of things. I'm working now on a possible chapbook of new poems, so stay tuned for that. I feel like they're just a big jump ahead of what I was doing before. But I'm still publishing everything else too, short stories, film articles.
Yeah. Now I saw your webpage. So where can people find you? And I think there was even links to buy the book. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can always find me at cmcrockford.net. You can always email me if you have any thoughts or you want to lavishly praise anything I've done. I always love that. So, you know, compliments, please, people, compliments.
I mean, that's why I started a podcast, and unfortunately,
I beg of you,
not many.
I hope it wasn't this podcast you're referring to, Jeff. No, nobody's complimenting us on this one.
Let's also bring in our next guest. Next up is a director, writer, cinematographer, editor, and a whole bunch of other things, whose work covers everything from dramas, thrillers, horror, and comedy. A new friend of the show who recently worked on Perfectly Good Moment, as well as the upcoming film Out of Order. And is it okay if I list some of the people who are in Out of Order, Matt? Is that okay?
Yes,
as long as
okay.
Okay, so everything from Brooke Shields, Brandon Routh, and the king of deep cuts himself, Luis Guzman. Please welcome to the show, Matt Braunsdorf. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Hello, how are you? Bienvenido, guten tag.
We're good. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I've become a new fan of the show since my friends Amanda and Julian were on a while back, and I'm very excited to play the game and hopefully crush you all.
I mean, and that's why Alex and I keep inviting on new people. We figure every episode we pick up like 2 new listeners, at least for a little bit. You know, they'll at least listen to one episode potentially. Though, if I was on an episode, I haven't listened to the episode where I played Alex because I was just
that's okay. I don't listen to any of these, so it's fine.
I have in fact listened to several. I actually think it was the most recent one that I was listening to while I was quickly shoveling food into my mouth to prepare for this show tonight.
Possibly the one with Abe Goldfarb. Was that maybe the one? Or
I don't remember.
Either way, our scam is working, so thank you.
Yes, it is. But you were talking about comfort movies at the start, and one of the two of you is a fan of Godzilla '98, and
that's me.
Yeah,
Alex. Okay,
I love that movie.
I'm going to exit the viewfinder for just a second, but there's something I want to show you.
Just back 2 middle fingers. That's rude. What an elaborate setup that was.
This is what I think of your Godzilla love.
No. This is my home office, and I'm trying to make it into my happy place. I have over here a TV VCR combo.
Naturally.
So when I take my lunch breaks, I watch about 20 minutes of a movie, and I want you to know that I have 2 copies.
Oh my god!
Godzilla 98.
Is one VHS. Like the shiny cover and one's like the standard cover, or are they both the same?
No, one is mine, and then the other one is probably my aunt's. I went to my mom's house. My aunt lives with my mom now. TMI. But I was like going through all of my old collection. I'm like, I need stuff for my office. Oh, Godzilla 98. Yes, let me get that. And then I got back here and I was like, oh, you already had it here. So,
listen,
yes.
You can never have too many copies of that movie because it's a masterpiece. And as a kid...
I won't go that far.
No, honestly, me neither. As much as I love it, like, let's be real. But as a kid, because I was like 9 or 10 when it came out, was the exact demographic for that movie. I was buying up all the merch that I get my hands on. I got the toys for Christmas. I got t-shirts and posters, but I had a hat which had just the tagline on it, which is a weird thing for a child to wear, because if you remember, it was size does matter. Just walking around at like the Pickering Town Center with his hat on, which I don't have a head for hats either. So it was just a whole terrible combo.
Now, obviously, I can't see your full visage from my current viewpoint. I hope that you're 5'2". So this way, the size does matter.
Even better. I'm just like little Wolverine. No, but I'm like, I'm 5'7" and lying. So
okay, all right.
It wasn't great when I was little. So
well, fellow brethren, I had the poster for Godzilla Size Does Matter on my wall in my bedroom because I love the giant foot. Fantastic. Couldn't wait to see the movie. And I had the single of Come With Me on cassette. And I learned every single word. And when the movie, I saw it in theaters and yeah, I sang that song during the credits because it still slaps.
It was an embarrassing amount of time before I realized that Heroes is a David Bowie song. Not just the cover that's in that movie. So. I'm like, oh, David Bowie did a version of this song? Everyone's like, you're an idiot.
Right.
Exactly. But yes, no, I love Godzilla 98, and this might be sacrilegious to say, but I think it's my favorite Godzilla movie. Ooh, I haven't seen that many, to be fair.
Fair enough. I've only seen a handful. I think it's probably in my top 2 or 3 for sure of like the 8 that
it's certainly better than all the new ones.
Did you see Godzilla -1? Because it is genuinely pretty good.
Oh, all right. Okay, fine.
That one's solid. I'll give you that one solid.
I meant the new American ones. The Godzilla. All right, fine. Godzilla -1. Yes, that's the best one. That's the best one I've seen.
The Gareth Edwards one's pretty good too. Anyway, it's fine.
No, it stinks. It stinks.
No, it's not bad. It's pretty solid.
Godzilla movies.
Wait,
we'll take this offline later.
Okay, I'm just going to derail it for one more second, I promise, and then we'll be done. This is my reenactment of that pitch. Okay, hello, I'm Gareth Edwards. I'm going to make a Godzilla movie. I got a great idea for a Godzilla movie. It's going to be 2 hours, 20 minutes long. Godzilla's going to be in it 11 minutes. 11 minutes total. Don't worry, it's going to be fantastic. Every time he shows up on screen, we're going to show him for a millisecond, then cut away to Kick-Ass. Everybody wants to see Kick-Ass. Everybody wants to see Godzilla.
Kick-Ass and his sister wife from the Avengers movies. It's fine. Yeah, audiences will love it.
And
okay, I'm sorry. I totally derailed the whole episode.
Yeah, okay. No, that's cool. The actor everyone loves, Bryan Cranston. We're gonna kill him off 30 minutes in.
Exactly.
He's completely dead. Don't worry about it. The most
interesting character in the movie will be dead by minute 30.
But he'll have more screen time than is it Marion Cotillard or Juliette Binoche? Who's his wife? Somebody French.
Oh, it's Binoche. Yeah,
it's Binoche. Yeah,
it's Binoche.
Chocolate.
Yeah,
the chocolate lady.
That's right. It's the chocolate
lady. Excuse you.
Well, Matt, I was going to ask you some questions too. So no.
I hope they're all about Godzilla.
I mean, I do.
That's all I'm here for, guys.
He's actually answered 9 of them already, so we can. What is your favorite Godzilla? No, you already got that one. No. Yep. So you did work on Perfectly Good Moment. You were cinematographer on that film?
That is correct, and also the post supervisor.
Okay, so and we talked to Amanda about that and just how probably interesting shooting that movie because a good chunk of that film is simulated sex kind of thing. And we always hear from the actors and the actresses' point of view about like how it's different on the set and you've got all these people watching and stuff like that. But I'm just wondering from like your point of view, obviously you're being professional, you're doing your job, but is it also kind of an awkward thing? Because I'm assuming you and Amanda know each other fairly well at this point.
At this point, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Before we made the movie, I did not.
Okay, really? Okay.
The director Lauren Greenhall was my connection to that. Amanda and Julian were looking for a director. They got Lauren on board, and Lauren was like, "Matt's my guy. I gotta have him on." So they brought me on at that point. So I met Amanda very briefly before we started shooting, which actually made it kind of better because then, there isn't this like shared history. I'm sitting there filming her, enjoying Colonel Angus, and I don't know her that well, so that's fine. It was good to have that disconnect, I would say,
rather than, hey, there's my best friend having simulated sex and I'm recording it, and this isn't weird.
I feel like if we'd known each other, it might have been a little bit, I don't know, laughter might have come a little bit more easily because it's just like, oh, Amanda, you're being silly. But no, like, and also she's not being silly. Great performance, great actress, terrific writer, and funny story. Her and I are now working on another film together, and it's also going to be another one where she's having sex for most of it.
Beast with Two Backs film?
Yes,
she did mention that to us. Yeah. All right, awesome. Okay, so what can you tell us about Out of Order? Like, how far along in the shooting process of that film are you?
Shooting's done.
Okay, great.
I weaseled my way into editing the movie as well.
Nice.
I had 10 years of experience shooting and editing and directing comedy before I'd done Out of Order. And the director, Guy Jacobson, and I just got along really well while we were shooting. And he respected that, on certain scenes, I insisted no, we need more coverage, or no, we need to get an insert of this because otherwise it's not going to work in the edit. And he was basically like, you already know how all these pieces are going to go together, so you're just going to edit it. It's just about done. We're in the sound mix now, so hopefully later this year you'll be seeing it somewhere.
I mean, and it's comedy, right? So I'm excited to see Brooke Shields get to do a comedy because I did watch her documentary on Disney there, and I forgot about how funny she was.
Oh, she's great,
especially in Friends, where she's dating Joey's character, and she's just insane. And she was the one that said I can't just be a little crazy. I have to be as crazy as I am, not to, that she was, pumping her own self up, but she's like, I've got to be as crazy as I am good looking. Because otherwise guys would be like, well, she's a little crazy, but that's okay. She's really hot. We'll get over it. Right. So she had to be over the top crazy, and she nailed it.
Well, the fun thing about Out of Order, if I'm remembering correctly, I'm pretty sure it's the first time she's ever played a villain.
Oh, really? Nice.
And she had mentioned that when we started shooting, that it was strange for her to play that kind of a role because she's never done that stuff before. So she was a little bit, more jittery and nervous on our first few days, because she's like, I'm not mean. I'm not a mean person, and here I am having to be this really mean, dismissive head of a law firm. But she, crushed it as expected. And she is wonderful in all the ways you would hope her to be. You go into something like that expecting that Brooke Shields is going to be the biggest diva, and she was quite the opposite. And I would work with her again in a heartbeat.
I'm glad to hear that. That's nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you want to hear about the people that you respect.
Sure.
I know, right?
Well, let's jump into this is our 4th game of Deep Cuts this season, Alex. So
feels like our 100th, Jeff.
So the first thing we do is I have thought of a movie, and I'm going to ask Connor and Matt to try to think of what movie am I thinking of. So Connor, why don't we go with you first? Whoever's closest gets to decide if they want to go first, second, or third. And understanding that it really doesn't matter. It's just a way to decide. So, Connor, what movie am I thinking of? And there are no hints.
No hints. Okay.
No hints.
I'm just going to go with a mid-2000s blockbuster pick here, just for the funsies. Casino Royale, the 2006 one.
All right.
Great movie.
I like it. Matt, what movie am I thinking of?
I know exactly which movie you're thinking of.
Wow.
You're thinking of Earth Girls Are Easy.
I have not thought of that movie in a long time, so no, it wasn't that either. Alex,
great cast.
That's your fault, not mine.
Yeah. Alex, what movie am I thinking of?
To keep it Roland Emmerich, are you thinking of Moonfall?
I am not.
That's shocking.
I'm actually thinking of the Keanu Reeves film 47 Ronin.
Saw it in the theater.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know why. I went over and I was like, because we're kind of doing a bit of an action themed film tonight. So I went over to my action area and there was 47 Ronin. I was like, I have not watched that probably since I bought it. So
I was going to say, you're thinking of it because you're hoping that maybe it's good, but it's not.
It's not. I don't know. None of you are very close.
I'd say Connor's the closest. It's an action movie.
You think so with Casino Royale? Okay, Connor. Alex, you sold me. Connor, would you like to go first, second, or third?
I'm going to go first because I just am that way.
Bold.
All right. And Alex, you know what? I'm going to let our other guest, Matt, decide if he wants to go second or third because, I like our guests.
Just go fuck myself. That's fine.
Matt, would you like to go second or third?
I'm going to go second because, and I know that this is a wild opinion, I always feel that the sequel, the number 2 in the series, is almost always, the best one.
Always, almost always.
Almost always.
All right, well, let me tell you what the 3 movies are. You two actually, when I asked you what movies you liked, you actually had a little bit of crossover, not necessarily in the movies, but the directors and stuff that you both liked, and the films, some of the films that Connor liked were by directors that Matt liked and vice versa. So I think you'll both be okay with these movies.
Okay.
So from 2004, we did the first one previously, Alex, last year, but it's Spider-Man 2. Cool. From 1994, there was a sequel to this movie, but we're never going to do it. Speed. So Spider-Man 2 and Speed.
I mean, these are 2 movies that I love.
And lastly, from 2001, I'm not even sure why I picked it. It just... Donnie Darko.
Ooh.
So, Spider-Man 2, Speed, Donnie Darko. Take a few minutes, write down some names, see what you can come up with. And while you're doing that, we'll hear a word from our sponsors.
Celebrate your love of cinema with MoviePosters.com. Whether it's cult classics, obscure gems, or your all-time favorites, they've got the perfect poster for every fan.
Your kids want a Tom Holland Spider-Man poster?
They got it.
Your mom wants a Kevin Costner poster?
They got it.
Dad wants all the Scorsese classics?
Jeff, they got it.
And don't forget something for yourself.
All of the above.
Go to movieposters.com and use promo code DeepCuts15 and get 15% off your next order. All right. Well, I'm glad I didn't hear everyone go like, ugh, to these movies.
You picked 3 movies I've seen probably more than most other movies.
All right.
These are pretty high on my
Good
list.
job.
All right.
Not that I think Speed is especially deep, but that is a VHS that I ran out of as a child.
No, it's not super deep, but there are some people, like when I went through the cast, I was like, oh, I did not know that. Like there's some very hidden cameos in this movie that might surprise you. Spider-Man is obviously the deepest.
Sure.
But Speed's solid.
We're not doing Speed 2, which is featured in an entire chapter of Box Office Poison.
We can forget Speed 2 Cruise Control, but we can all be thankful that the real Speed 2 did come out and is called Unstoppable. With
Unstoppable
Denzel
is great.
Great.
I've never seen
it's essentially Speed 2.
Is that the Chris Pine Denzel movie?
It's Tony Scott's last movie.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. It's
yeah.
fucking terrific.
You know, my deep cut for that is Ethan Suplee as like
yes,
guy
yes,
who
yes,
doesn't
yes.
put the handbrake on the train
Exactly.
like the idiots. Yeah. But bad news because that train is unstoppable.
It sure is until they stop it.
Spoiler. Is that set in Philadelphia?
I think it was called The Train That Wouldn't Slow Down.
That's exactly right.
I don't know if that was in Philadelphia, but I know like most of M. Night's films are in Philadelphia, right? Like that's kind of his.
I think that's
like
accurate.
Sixth Sense, Unbreakable. I'm pretty sure they're all Philadelphia based.
All right, I'm
Somebody
feeling
in Donnie
medium
Darko.
good about this, Jeff.
All right.
It's a guy in Donnie Darko who I know I've seen in other movies, but I can't think of other movies right now. So this
Shush,
really
I know
pissing
who
me
he is.
off.
Don't worry about it. I got this.
I think I know who you think it is too. Like I'm like, oh yeah. I think I know who you're both talking about.
How many names am I supposed to come up with here?
I mean, there's 6 rounds, but you should probably come up with more than 6 people because someone might steal.
Right.
You know, your deep cut, right? And obviously, as the game's being played, someone might say something. You'd be like, "Oh my gosh, I know who their husband was," or "Oh, the kid. That's right, there was a kid as well," or something like that, right? So, And it is funny sometimes as you get further away from certain movies, when you go back and look at them now, you're like, oh, that kid actually grew up to be so and so. Like a couple weeks ago when we did High Fidelity, and young John Cusack was Drake Bell, which you kind of you forget at the time. And also like just people like there's a woman in Donnie Darko, and I'm like, oh, and now I know who she is. Like she's not a big actress by any means, but I'm like, oh, she's in something I've seen a lot of now.
You know what's annoying with that, Jeff? There's somebody in one of these movies that I need to dig deep in like the dusty folds of my brain to get that person's name, because my touchstone for them is always this one of these movies. I'm like, so-and-so from this. And then I can link them to a million other things. But I have to try and remember this person's name. And I think I got it, but it might be a totally different person.
All right.
We'll see.
I've got someone I don't got it. Oh my God.
Okay. Why don't we bring it back? Before we start guessing your deep cuts, I will tell you there is one person who appears in more than one film. So if you guess that person, you get the points for all the films. Don't say anything, Matt. Yourself. You get points for both films that person appears in if you guess them right. You cannot use that other film as a reference. You would either have to reference them from another film or know their name. So no saying, oh, that person is this person in that movie. And
right. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Connor, you're on the clock.
Okay.
What is your first deep cut? You can go from any of these movies. Give me your best one.
Okay, I'm gonna say Beth Grant.
There it is.
Son of a bitch, that's the name. That's the name. I'm like, I really question dedication of Sparkle Motion lady.
Yes.
So Beth Grant, yes, Sparkle Motion, the leader of Sparkle Motion for Donnie Darko. So she's right. 10 points there. She's also in Speed as, I believe, the woman who tries to get off the bus before.
Oh my God, well remembered.
And
as I remember,
and she gets blown up. So so it's a double 10-pointer for Beth Grant. So 20 points for Beth Grant. Alex, your other touchstone for her should be Little Miss Sunshine, as she is also in charge of like the dance crew there.
Yep.
And she's not a fan of the dance that the little girl's doing.
I'm going to forget that immediately, but that is a good one.
Son of a bitch. I should have picked going first.
She is also Dwight's date at the dinner party episode of The Office, the awkward dinner party with Jan and... he brings her. She used to be his babysitter, and now they have sex together.
And he's like, it's purely sexual.
Yeah. Matt, on the clock. What is your first deep cut?
First, I am very, very obsessed about you taking Beth Grant because I knew her name. God damn it. Anyway, Goose Fraba. I don't know her name, but the next door neighbor girl in Spider-Man 2, who is also one of the theater attendants in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
She is.
Wow.
And you know what's funny? I just saw her. We're watching, for whatever reason, we're watching The Mentalist, and she's in an episode of The Mentalist. I literally watched it tonight. I was like, oh my God, that girl's going to be in the podcast tonight. Her name is Magina Tova. I just have her down as daughter because and she was also in the TV show The Magicians.
She's in The Shield.
Anyone? Is she real? Oh,
is she?
Oh yeah, she's kind of scary in The Shield. Oh yeah, she's like a
she's
very
worth 15 points.
manipulative
15
person.
points.
Like honestly, my touchstone for her is the SpongeBob SquarePants. It's like the theater attendant. Yeah, she's the theater attendant. That's the only other thing I would know.
Yeah, in the after the credit scene too.
Yeah,
right. Doesn't she tell everyone to leave?
Yep.
Connor, it's crazy that she plays like what sounds like a villain in The Shield. Like that seems really against type for her.
Yeah,
she's really good too.
You get two cuts here, Alex. 1 and 2.
All right, I'm gonna pull like the two my two deepest cuts from Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
First, probably not gonna be a ton of points, but I want to take him off the board. Joel McHale.
Joel McHale is the bank manager.
Yeah. Like you can get it. She's like, at least we get our toaster. And he's like, only with a $200 deposit.
So Joel McHale, 11 points.
Okay. And
solid, Alex.
I don't know if she has any lines, but he's like, pizza delivery, whatever. But I'm pretty sure it's Emily Deschanel.
It is Emily Deschanel as the woman when Peter Parker shows up late with the pizza.
Yes. It's like 32 minutes or whatever.
So yeah, I don't think she has. I think she literally just looks at the clock. So I don't think she has a line. She is 15 points, Alex.
Great, I'll take it.
So that's solid. Good start. Everyone's crushing it right off the bat.
Oh, my next one's gonna be Tobey Maguire.
Matt, we're back to you with your second deep cut.
Okay, so just so I understand, Alex got to go twice in a row because we go to one end and then we turn around and go back the way we came. Okay,
yeah,
all right, I understand now.
Yeah, so you're in the middle. You're the sandwich pick.
I'm the sandwich guy. Okay, so Donnie Darko, the bunny, is played by the kid who's also Randy Quaid's son in Independence Day.
Yep.
I don't know his name, but that guy.
His name's James
He's also
Duvall.
in the New Generation. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I think he's also in that movie May. Did you guys ever see May?
Yep. And I think he's in My Own Private Idaho, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, nice.
Would he be? I feel like would he not be too young to have been in that? But maybe not.
I'm pretty sure he's the one that kind of breaks up the two leads. Spoilers.
Yeah, my Own Private Idaho. That's like 92, 91?
Around
okay,
there, yeah.
maybe I guess Independence Day wasn't
92.
too long after that.
Yeah, he's old enough to drive the home, the mobile
motor home. Yeah,
the motor home. Yeah, I don't know why I said mobile home, motor home.
But it is funny that then in Donnie Darko in 2001, he's still essentially just playing like a high school senior or first year college student. But he's worth 9 points for James Duvall.
9 points. I guess that's fine because he is the rabbit.
Yeah. He is. Yeah, he's Frank, right? That's I believe the rabbit's
Frank.
name.
That's the character's name. There you go.
Connor, you get 2 picks now, so you get your second and your third deep cuts.
Okay, I'm very excited for this one. So I've got Asif Manvi. He's in Spider-Man 2.
Yes, as
he's the pizza shop owner. Fires Pete. He's like, Pete, you're a nice guy, but I can't. You're not reliable. Screenwriting beat. Classic. Yeah.
50. I'll tell you right now, 15 points for Asif because that's a very good one.
Woo!
Yep.
All right, and then I've got another one, right?
Yep.
Same. Can't be the same movie.
You can any movie you want. You can go all over. Yeah, if you want to jump to Donnie Darko or you want to do Speed.
So I've got Spider-Man 2 as well though, but it's Ted Raimi as J. Jonah Jameson's assistant who he hates, and he's Sam Raimi's brother.
Mm-hmm.
He's Nash versus Evil Dead, bunch of stuff. It's great. We all love Ted.
Ted Raimi, 10 points. We kind of know he's going to show up in all his brother's films, but still, you still got to remember
it's
it.
Wonderful.
So 10 points. That's all.
Yeah.
My touchstone for Asif is Alex has never watched it, and I've tried to get him to watch the show 100 times. But the TV show Evil, did anybody watch?
I still got to see that. I've heard it's great. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so good.
It's like Jeff's favorite show. He won't shut up about this fucking show.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's like legitimately scary, and but then also funny, and it's just she's great. And what's his name? Mike Coulter is really good. Like it's good. And Andrea Martin, former SCTV Canadian, is in it as a nun. But
Black
it's good.
Christmas?
Excellent.
Yes, that Andrea Martin.
Hey.
Oh wow, yeah.
This guy, hey,
Canadian,
good one.
Listen, Bob Clark, the best Christmas movie director of all time.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like you got that, and
you are right.
And a Christmas story. So beat that anyway.
Done.
Other than maybe
that would be a fantastic double feature that I've never done.
Oh, I'm sure they've
mostly
done it
because I can't get my wife to watch Black Christmas.
We watch. It's not that scary, is it?
It's not that scary.
It's
but
not, but it is when it needs to be.
And it's disturbing. The dryer sheet on the head over Lynn Griffin is scary. Which, fun fact, Lynn Griffin still lives in Southern Ontario, and annually or every couple of years, she goes to our local spooky coffee shop and she does photos and she signs Black Christmas ornaments, and she always brings a dry cleaning bag with her. And you can get a selfie with her, and she puts it on and sucks it in her mouth. It's great. She's the most lovely elderly woman I've ever met in my life. She's so nice.
That's amazing.
Also,
that sounds great.
All the POV stuff of the killer. That one moment in the attic where he just has his Citizen Kane freak out and just breaks everything, and he's just that's super scary.
You gotta clean all that up. What a nightmare.
Matt, you're doing well. You got some solid points here. You're on to your third deep cut though.
Okay. So I'm gonna mention this guy, but I'm just gonna preface it by saying that I went to see Seven in IMAX a couple weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
and noticed that this guy that I'm about to mention is also in 7.
Okay,
I knew
wait,
I was going to
wait.
be on this show, and I was like, oh, I hope they do 7 on the show because I'm going to mention this guy. The bus driver, Sam, is also one of the security guards at the library in 7.
Wow.
Yes. His name is Hawthorne James. Literally, I have 7 written down because he's not in much other things that you would know. So he's worth 12 points as
12
Sam.
points.
Because honestly, you would either have to know his name, which most people do not,
Yep.
or you would have to know that he's the security guard in 7, which most people do not. So solid deep cut. Alex, what's your third cut? And then I'll give you guys a halfway point rundown.
So talking about the bus driver in Speed, you reminded me the guy who gets his car door knocked off, and I'm pretty sure he's also in Speed 2 for inexplicable reasons, is in Showgirls.
Yeah.
Nice.
He is also in The Day After Tomorrow as the homeless guy with the dog that wants to go into the library.
I love me a Roland
I
Emmerich
remember
movie.
this guy. I remember him, and he's in Showgirls. He's the guy. Oh my god,
the dancer that's trying to do his own kind of like one-man show kind of thing. His name is Glenn Plummer.
He's the guy she says, I've just got my period. You know, that's the guy she says it to. Yes. Oh my god.
Yeah. 12 points for Glenn Plummer.
Stayed in my head. Yeah.
Alex, at the halfway point, you're doing much better than you did last week when I think you had like...
You don't have
8.
to frame it like that. You can just say you're doing well.
Okay, you have 38 points.
Great.
Matt, you have 36 points. So it's very close between you two. And Connor, you have 45 points thanks to your double dip on Beth Grant with 20 points. So that's it. You know what? We got a very high scoring game going on right now. Alex, do you have anything else left? You got your 4th deep cut.
I got a handful. I do have a decent number of names, but now I'm trying to like parse out who I think might be worth more across these movies. I'm gonna go because he died in the first one, so I feel like he's barely in the second one. Maybe people forgot, but Willem Dafoe's in Spider-Man 2 for like 2 scenes.
He is. I think there's some flashbacks. It's like he can hear his voice
he's in the
the
mirror.
house.
Yeah.
You've let me down. I'm Willem Dafoe.
Avenge me!
Yeah.
Avenge me!
I mean, he's worth 10 just because it's kind of like, we all know he's going to kind of be back, but you kind of have to remember that. So 10 points for Willem Dafoe, Alex. Well done. Matt, you're in the hunt here. What's your 4th deep cut?
Okay. I was honestly surprised that Mr. Young did not pick this. I'm not sure. I feel like it should be worth a lot, but I can't be sure. But I'm going to go for it anyway. Miss Elizabeth Banks is Betty. Oh, God. Beth. Oh, God. What's her name?
No. You got it. You're right.
No. But the character's name, because it's
Grant.
like one of Spider-Man's Betty Grant.
Betty Brandt.
Betty Brandt.
Yes,
I
was wrong.
It's the alliteration. It's all the alliteration, baby. It's all a comic book sound.
Elizabeth Banks.
She is worth 10 points.
10
because what's her name? Emily Deschanel was worth 15. Elizabeth Banks actually has some lines. I think he's like, I really need to get paid, that sort of thing. So solid cut as the receptionist for J. Jonah Jameson. Connor, right. You get your 4th and your 5th deep cuts.
All right. I'm surprised no one's mentioned this person yet in Donnie Darko. Seth Rogen is one of the dumbass.
Well remembered.
Teens.
I believe his big line is he says something like boobs, if I'm not mistaken,
That's
to
right.
the female lead. Seth Rogen as one of the bullies for 12 points.
That's solid.
Okay.
12. That's a solid cut. And you get your 5th deep cut as well, Connor.
And then, so I'm having trouble remembering this guy's name. Very unusual for me. I just remember names usually for no good reason. It's one of my great useless talents
for this podcast. That's what it's for.
Hey, this guy's in Speed. He is Cameron in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
And he's in Twister.
And
Twister and
Succession, and a ton of great.
Yeah, he's got one of the.
Thank you.
Alan Ruck, one of the best lines in Twister when he says, "Rabbit is good, rabbit is wise."
Yes, that's lived in my head for 30 years.
I have never seen Twister.
What?
When I was a kid, the opening scene scared me so bad, right? Like a Twister literally grabbing a dude out of the basement. I was like, nope, no more. I'm just turning off the TV. Wonderful World. Disney's not a wonderful world at all. It's a lie.
You got to see it. It's so good. And the second one is also
I should watch it.
It's fun.
I should watch it. I will.
8 points for Alan Ruck or Cameron, who, Alex, do we remember who he is married to?
In real life?
In real life.
We
met her.
No.
And I didn't know how to say her name.
Wow.
Oh, from what's her name? Mira Irios.
Muriel Enos, who was Brad Pitt's wife in World War Z. She was the lead in the TV show The Killing.
Yeah.
And we met her, and I had to get her to come out of her trailer. And I was like, "Hey, they're ready for her." And they're like,
"Is she ready?"
Is she, her? Because I did not know how to pronounce her name.
And they totally knew it, and they kind of called you on. They're like, "Who? What?" And you're like, "It's fine. It's her. We got to go."
It's her. Yeah. Muriel Enos is married to Alan Ruck. 8 points for Alan Ruck. Matt, you got your 5th deep cut. You've got this one and your 6th, and you're all done. It's time to make a move.
All right. I don't know the actor's name, but I can name 2 movies he's in, including Spider-Man 2. The landlord, the one who says rent.
Yes.
Rent. He is also the scientist in Spy Hard who said, "It was for world peace."
He is. And he was in something else I wrote down too, where he's a cosmonaut and something, like he's an astronaut and something like his name is Ilya Baskin. And literally I just wrote down next to his name, Rent, because he just yells rent. So he is worth 15 points. 1 point less than his daughter. Yeah. So 15 points.
Wait, how many points is he worth?
15.
You said 1 point less than his daughter. You only gave me 15 points for the
daughter. Did I only give you 15? Sorry, she should be 16. 16.
Thank you very much, sir.
No, that's okay. Catch. Hey, would you miscalculate for me? That was actually worth 20.
That's all right. That's all right. Last week I gave someone credit for Lonnie Ross from the movie The Rocker when really they were just saying Fred Armisen. But it happens. Things happen. This is not very professional. I do all the research on a piece of paper. So, Alex, what is your 5th and then your final deep cuts?
Okay, so I'm
very
gonna
close
take the man who saves random pedestrian from trunk of falling concrete in Spider-Man 2 is Stanley, of course.
It is Stanley, and Stanley gets his usual 12 points.
Fabulous.
The cameo.
So, Jeff, hypothetical. I'm gonna do that thing you hate because I've got 2 names left.
Okay.
So I want to make sure I pick the right one. Would it be better to do a somewhat famous cameo from Spider-Man 2, or would it be better to give you a cast member in Donnie Darko that is perhaps less well known? Perhaps.
Well, I don't know who you're talking about.
I'm trying to project it.
So you're trying to think of a famous person who's in Spider-Man.
Yeah, and like famous for like mostly doing cameos and shit. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say you're probably I'm gonna say you're better off doing that than someone who is a lead person in Donnie Darko that maybe people don't know who they are. Is that what you're?
So I will take the one who I had sign this Blu-ray, Bruce Campbell.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going a different direction. But yes,
you're
Bruce
like, in
Campbell
that case, you made the wrong choice, and you
No, I think you're okay. Bruce Campbell's worth 9 points as he is in all the Spider-Man movies.
He's in all the Spider-Man, and he's got a pretty big part in the second one.
Mm-hmm. He at the doorman for the.
He's the doorman. He's like,
got
to tie your shoe, got to fix your button, and then he can't let him in.
So 9 points.
I have a story about that, which is when I met, because Bruce Campbell was at Fan Expo and he was promoting the Ripley's Believe It or Not that he took over hosting for Dean Cain for like a season or 2. So it was like a free meet and greet situation. So we all kind of like just brought like Ash vs. Evil Dead and kind of like what everybody's kind of grabbed, like a thing you had at home and brought the next day. So I brought Spider-Man 2, and he's like, "Oh man, this was great." He's like, "Worked on this and it was super fun." And then I went back to Romania for the other movie I was shooting, which was The Man with the Screaming Brain. And I'm like, "Oh, I have that." And he's like, "Yeah, I bet you do, kid."
Thanks. He took one look at you and he was like, "Yeah."
He's like, "You sure do. You're the one guy that bought it." And then he's like, "Sam, to be nice, set up a screening of Spider-Man 2, an advanced screening for everyone working on Man with the Screaming Brain, cast, crew, everybody." And they watched it and they loved it. And he's like, "Well, now we go back to make our shitty movie." Well, all done.
Matt, I think you've worked yourself into a very close race here with Connor. What is your final deep cut?
Okay, I'm sorry. I've just been doing that, guys, the whole time for the most part because some son of a bitch stole that grant from me.
Yeah, we'll never forgive him for that.
Okay,
It was me.
The bus driver Bob in Speed, I'm fairly certain is one of the cops in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Oh, yeah, the other bus driver, the guy that they trade off for.
Yeah,
his
exactly.
Name, he's from Ace Ventura, and his name
last time I got that drunk, I woke up married.
That's a good one, Bob.
He usually plays like a mobster kind of guy. His name is John Capodice.
Capodice.
I have him down from Ace Ventura. Yeah, I think he's a cop in Ace Ventura. He's 18 points because, honestly, he doesn't have a big part. Connor, you need a good deep cut here, I think.
Okay.
What's your last one?
Okay. My deep cut is Devay Chase is in Donnie Darko, and she's also in Spirited Away. She's Chihiro's voice in the English dub.
Wow.
She's in Big Love, the HBO show, if you've seen that. She's a Mormon child bride. It's a whole fucking thing with that show. And so that's my Donnie Darko pick. And I need one more.
She's also the girl in The Ring, isn't she?
Yeah, she's Samara.
She's Samara in The Ring, and also the voice of Lilo in Lilo and Stitch.
Why are you saying Lilo so weird, man?
Lilo.
Yeah, because famously
I'm
the
a
name of that
grown-up,
movie. Have you seen The Leon King? It's very good too.
Lilo and Stitch.
Because I've never watched it. I did ride the ride though.
It's good, man. Disney. That movie's good. You'll cry.
Let's go.
And of course we're getting a live action Lilo and Stitch later this year. However, my son is obsessed with Stitch, so we took him to go see Moana 2 when the trailer came up for that, and like he was like
on board,
jumping in his seat. He's like, "Oh my god, it's Stitch!" I was like, "Okay, I guess we're going to see that."
See, Alex, that's who I thought you were thinking of when you were asking about Donnie Darko and like a main character.
What made you think most people was smart? Like in any episode when I pull something that good, get out of here, man.
Well,
I will tell you. The one I was thinking of, since we're all done, was Noah Wiley. That was my big deep one. For
he's the teacher.
He's the teacher. You might have been, it would have been equal. Him and Bruce Campbell would have been about equal.
I forgot about him.
He's got a pretty big part. Devay Chase, 9 points. All right, so let me tell you what you missed before we. Let's see. Obviously, no one did any of the big Donnie Darko people. Patrick Swayze would have been a decent, like a little bit of points, nothing huge.
We're professionals over here, of course.
The girl that has a crush on Donnie Darko, but is like, she's the Asian girl that the bullies always pick on.
Yeah.
And she says her name is Jolene Purdy. She was in White Lotus as one of the, I think she's like one of the receptionists at the one when they're down in the Caribbean. And then she was in also a WandaVision as one of the people that lived in the town that gets turned into whatever.
Oh, okay.
The other bully is with Seth Rogen is an actor named Alex Greenwald. He is one of the members of the band Phantom Planet with Jason Schwartzman. And he is, I don't know if he's married to, but was with Brie Larson for an extended period of time.
Okay.
You got your Noah Wiley. Drew Barrymore is the other teacher and also a producer of the film. Ashley Tisdale from School of Rock. It's like the nerdy little girl.
Wow. Do you say School of Rock? Did you mean High School Musical, Jeff?
Yeah, whatever, man.
Come on, there's 3 of them. They're very famous. The second one is great. There's a sequel that's better than the first. Bringing it back.
I'm getting old, Alex, man. I'm forgetting. And then one of the other students is Jerry Traynor from iCarly.
Yes.
And then the psychiatrist that Donnie is seeing. Nobody. Does anybody remember the psychiatrist?
I was going to name that one, and that was Catherine Parker or
Catherine Ross from The Graduate.
Yep. She was married to someone. She's married to Sam. Oh my God, she's married to the mustachioed guy from Big
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. She's married to Sam Elliott. Yeah.
Very nice.
How much would Swayze have been worth?
Like 7.6 or 7.
Okay, I'm glad I didn't say
not
Swayze.
A lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, higher than I would have guessed because I feel like it's a pretty famous role for him.
From Speed, their police chief Joe Morton from Terminator 2. He's the guy that's holding, created the, Skylink or whatever. Yeah,
Skylink is a real thing that exists.
Look at this, Alex. We're gonna talk about this.
Listen,
he says Lilo and Stitch, and then he says Skylink.
I am so much older than all of you, I think, and my brain is starting to melt. So.
You're just doing all the things that like dads say, like, are you playing your Game Boy? Like it's a PlayStation, Dad.
Hey, Alex, who's one of your favorite actors
of all time?
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage?
From the West Wing.
Richard Schiff?
Richard Schiff is driving the train in Speed.
What?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Richard Schiff. Sandy Martin, Napoleon Dynamite's grandmother, is the bartender in Speed. Veronica Cartwright from Aliens and
oh, hell yeah.
The Birds is like the bag lady, uncredited. So
wow, the one who has the pram full of cans?
They're cans? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's her. I'd have to go back and watch it, and even then, you might not know. Also, producer Mark Gordon has a cameo in the film. From Spider-Man, you got all the big ones. Dylan Baker would have been decent as Dr. Connors. Bill Nunn as Robbie. Is it Robbie Robertson? Jay Jonah's right-hand man.
Yeah.
Cliff Robertson makes a reappearance as Uncle Ben. What else we got? Daniel Day Kim is Osborn's assistant who's helping him run the machinery.
Yeah.
Hal Sparks is the guy who's in the elevator when Spider-Man, you remember, he loses his powers briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Hal Sparks from
he was on my list.
Smoke.
Yep. And then the guy who works for James Franco, he's like his houseman. He's credited is John Paxton, father of Bill Paxton.
Oh, no way.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
So it must be a connection there with Sam Raimi because he shows up in a lot of Sam Raimi things. Also, you could have said Sam Raimi as he shows up as a student at the university, uncredited. John Landis is in it, producer.
What?
Phil Lamar from Mad TV and the voice of Hermes from Futurama is an uncredited train passenger.
And Pulp Fiction, famously Pulp Fiction.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, his head blown off in Pulp Fiction.
So shot in the face.
Yeah, so there was a lot of points left on the board. This could have been, you guys did very well, but there was a lot of points left up on there. Let's run the totals here. Alex, you had 38 at the half.
So many options.
Mm-hmm.
You picked up 31 in the second half for the very humorous total of 69. Congratulations.
Pretty good
buddy.
score, though. I bet,
it's good. It's solid. Good. Matt, you were in second place. I've adjusted your total. You had 37 points at the half, 10, 25, 43 in the second half. Gets you to 80. Very solid score.
Man.
Connor, 45 at the half.
All right.
29 in the second half. Finishes you at 74. Very nice totals for everyone. Well done.
Right.
Congratulations, Matt, though. You're our big winner. So the prize is the burden of suggesting a future guest for our show. It could be someone that you think would be good at the show, or just someone like, oh, that'd be so funny to hear this person come on this awful podcast and have to play this game. Any suggestions?
Somebody who would be good at this game.
They don't even have to be good. I mean, that's kind of how we got you. Amanda recommended you after the fact. She's like, who'd be great at this is Matt. I'm
going to recommend you to my friend Stuart Fahlberg, who is a assistant director on many, many big things. Most notably, Rebel Moon.
Ooh, I love Rebel Moon.
And Mindhunter. And Batman v Soups. He's done a bunch of stuff.
Batman v Soups.
So I would, and he is who I saw Seven on IMAX with. So I would recommend Mr. Fahlberg.
Well, we'll reach out. It sounds like we're getting too big for our own britches, though, Alex. That sounds like
and don't put Seven on the list because, clearly, it's going to be in recent memory for that guy. So
yeah, and I think we did, Alex. We did Seven literally our first episode.
We did.
Yeah.
How did I do?
I don't know
because I think other than John C. McGinley, I got nothing for that movie. I think I won.
I just saw it again. I have so many.
Did it? Do you remember if anybody mentioned
did. It was
Hairspray.
It was Hairspray, Seven, and the movie The Watch. The
I would have done the best on Hairspray.
You did win with 51 points. Nobody did very well that episode.
All right, you know what?
But we were just trying things out. Well, congratulations, Matt. So once again, where can people connect with you if they're looking to reach out and talk to you? I believe you. You're on Instagram. You're on Blue Sky. You're all over the place.
I'm on Instagram. I'm not on Blue Sky.
Are you not on Blue Sky? Okay.
No, I'm not on Blue Sky. Now I'm going to sound like the old man. I don't have time for this. These social medias. I don't know what these people are doing with their time, but I have a job and I have children. I can't sit here and be like and tweet out Blue Sky out my every thought and whim.
That's all right. I just put the same thing on every page over and over again is what I do. So,
I'm on the gram as Simply Braunsdorf, and perfect. Not Simply Braunsdorf. Simply Braunsdorf is my handle.
And we're gonna keep our eyes open for Out of Order with Brooke Shields, Brenda Routh, and Luis Guzman, and I believe also I can't remember his name now. Sam, is it Sam Huntington?
Sam Huntington
from Detroit Rock City, if I'm not mistaken.
Indeed, and also Jungle to Jungle.
Jungle to Jungle with Tim Allen. We always confuse that one with the Chevy Chase one and the Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Like,
oh, that's Man of the House.
Man of the House. Yeah, the posters look very
remembered.
similar. Yeah. Well done. Well, we're excited to check those out in the fall. And hey, maybe we'll have you back on since you were the big winner, and you can tell us some inside stories on it after the movie's out.
More than happy to come back and crush again.
All right.
Great.
You know what? Lucy's got his number, Jeff. I don't like
Whatever.
Connor.
Look, Connor got the best one. So what am I talking about?
Connor, Birdsongs is out, available. People can pick that up. They can visit your webpage again, which was, one more time for our listeners.
You got it. cmcrockford.net. It's such
Perfect.
a blast playing with y'all. Seriously.
Thanks very much.
Time.
Yeah, and you definitely are on Blue Sky because I believe you reached out to me, and that's where we connected. And I think you're also on the gram as well, so people can find you there. Thank you very much for playing, both of you. It was great having you here. It's so great meeting people that it is weird. Like, first time you jump on the camera and you're like, who are these people going to be? And then, we all like movies, so we all get along well. It's great. Alex, what do you got going on?
Jeff, where do I begin? I got nothing. Keep listening to this podcast. If you're listening to this now and you're hearing this part, listen to the next one. Have you fallen behind? Catch up. Some of them are good. Support your local rep cinema. Shop at any local video store if you're lucky enough to have them. But that's it. That's all I got.
Well, that's good. Thanks, buddy. Do you have an outro for me tonight?
I do. So here's the preface with this. So I had asked you in the week, I'm like, do you have any impressions that I should be aware of? Just kind of for future. So the one I'm sending you is not on your list.
Okay.
Of things in your wheelhouse. Which
I don't think I really gave you anything.
Owen Wilson. That's all you said. So I was thinking about, because I saw Wolfman, and I was thinking about the one from 2010 with Benicio del Toro in it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry, you're not going to do your best Benicio del Toro. That would be in bad taste. But I do want you to read this in your very best Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Oh.
So not just British, but I want regal British with the gravitas of 25 years of cinema and 40 years on the stage. This dude's been around forever. So just really.
Who do you think you're asking here to do
don't fuck
this?
it up, Jeff.
Alex, point of order. I'm fairly certain that Sir Anthony Hopkins is from Wales. He is Welsh.
You know what? That's a good note.
You
I
take
apologize, Jeff. So make sure it's a Welsh accent specifically, because I know the English and the Welsh, they get a little annoyed when you confuse the two, as I just did. So thank you for calling me on that. But Jeff, make sure your accent is Welsh.
Okay, well, let me hop on for 3
No,
weeks.
you gotta you should know it, because not knowing it is racist. So you should just know Welsh.
Okay.
Off the top of your head.
Oh, fucking Alex. Come on. Seriously?
Okay, is that how you can do it in your best Stitch impression, since that came up too?
Or his best Lilo impression.
His best Lilo, that's right.
There you go.
Wait, what did Stitch sound like? He was more a...
I have a great Stitch. Exactly. I've done Stitch forever.
That means family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any of these,
we all got
any of these options.
Yeah.
And everybody, you can keep your mics on, because that's always more fun for me.
And so the curtain falls. Another performance, another fleeting glimpse into
more
the
Welsh.
condition.
Welsher.
A tapestry of woven. No, that's Irish or Scottish. I don't have Welsh.
Nah, I'm just
Welsh
not-
is not.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah. A tapestry woven from joy and sorrow, triumph and despair. Remember, my friends, to savor these moments for life, like a well-crafted play, is a fleeting spectacle. We hope you enjoyed this show.
Also
be sure to keep in touch
Jesus Christ.
on social media and join us again next week wherever you get your podcast. Until next time, adieu.
Well done, Jeff.
I was waiting for usually you have me say their names and stuff like that. So I was
not this time. Anthony Hopkins doesn't have time for us.
Thanks everyone. We'll see you next week.